My name is Eyes Wide Open, and yes, I am at it with another one. And the reason why I'm making this video is based on Steve Huff, what he believes, what happened to us when we died. So he also had kind of mixed this up with spiritual or in spirits, basically. He done mixed it up with a little bit of religion and his take on it. But I'm just gonna go ahead and give you some key facts. What happened to us when we die, and I'm just gonna basically break it down a little bit from word what Steve Huff talks about. And I'm gonna line this up with the Bible because the Bible so far is the closest thing that we can line this up to make sense of all this. So, to a certain extent, scientists have not proven that the soul can live on. But scientists so-called prove that we stayed in a conscious state, for a little bit after death. Just a conscious state as the body died. But like I said, scientists have not proved this, that we live on after death. And so-called, even the Bible speaks of this. So if you're one of those people, you don't believe in the Bible, you can turn this off or go to whatever you want to do. And if you want to know a little bit about the Bible, I can show you in this video. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to move on.
I've said this a lot, but our souls never die. I've said this a lot. We really don't die.
So I stopped it right there because Steve Huff believes that our soul never dies. So this is going to be the beginning of the video. He believes our soul never dies. Let's see what the Bible say about that. So this is Ezekiel 18:4. And if you can read verse 4, I'm going to basically break that down. Basically that's talking about that God owns the soul. And the soul sinner. Believe in faith, as in who believe in God, who got God, Jesus. You got to go with Jesus for one. If you have Jesus put into the heart, because Jesus said, I am the only way to the Father. If you have Jesus put into the heart and you know that he's real and you trying to do your best to live a righteous life, then you have immortality through God, and you will basically, when that time comes, you will spend your immortality in heaven with the Father. But if you sin and you don't turn that life around, your soul will die. Because the Bible, this is a verse basically speaking to this. So this is the part where Mr. Huff is going to talk about spirit communication, basically, and what he believes that he's doing. And he also is going to bring this up through religion. And this is one of the reasons why I'm doing a video based on this, because he kind of went to religion. And we're going to get a little bit more deeper into that as we go on through the video. But let's listen about what Mr. Huff has to say.
ITC stands for Instrumental Trance Communication. It's basically a fancy word for spirit communication or communicating with the dead. Now, I've been doing this for 8 years.
So as you heard, Mr. Huff likes to communicate with the dead. That's what basically his YouTube video is basically all on. He likes to communicate with the dead. And before we kind of move on with this, I'm going to go ahead and show you some fast scriptures, what the Bible say about communicating with the dead. So this is Isaiah chapter 8, verse 19. If you can read that, I'm going to go ahead and break that down for you real fast. What this verse is basically saying. This is basically saying for a person who's a spiritualist. That's what this kind of breaking this down. and mediums, and that's kind of like a psychic thing, a person who communicate with demons basically. So it kind of combat with each other, you know. But just give you a fast link. You should not even communicate with the dead, with the living, what the Bible's telling you. That you don't supposed to do this. But Mr. Huff, he is what you call an AKA spiritualist. That's exactly what he is. So the word necromancer, I'm just showing you a fast, like a brief abbreviation, what this basically mean. And if you kind of look at it, say wizard, warlock, witch. If you kind of go for more, you see the word spiritualist and medium. That's what necromancer basically means. So just, you know, for some people who's not aware what that word mean, I just want to give you a fast breakdown what that is, because, you know, the Bible kind of speaks in a higher form of a language.
You're going to go to hell for doing this, which is actually incorrect. If you really read the Bible and what it says, it does not forbid communication with or praying for the dead. I talked about.
So as you heard, Mr. Huff said that the Bible don't say there's not a problem praying for the dead or communicating with the dead. So I'm going to even go a little bit even more into that, but I did just show you a couple of verses. Well, actually one verse of that, what the Bible basically saying, because, you know, I'm actually leading up to this. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to break down a little bit more what Mr. Huff's saying about communicating with the dead. So let's go a little deeper into it. So this is Leviticus 19:31. And as you see, that word medium and necromancer keep coming up. And it say, do not seek them out and make yourself unclean by them. I am your Lord God. You know, Mr. Huff, he went to religion on this. So I'm just want to show you a little bit about this. You know, I hate to prove a person wrong, basically, but what the Bible say, do not make yourself unclean by this. But there's also a man in the Bible who basically died doing this. And let's see what the Bible even say about this man who was communicating with spiritualists or psychics, witches. So this is 1 Chronicles 10, 13, and 14. This is basically talking about Saul, who was basically who broke the commandment. He kind of strayed away from the faith, and he started communicating with, you know, basically necromancers again, you know, mediums, spiritualists, familiar spirits, you know, because the Bible does, you know, call them familiar spirits, many different words. And he was actually put to death for this. And this is actually mentioned more than once in the Bible. So just showing you guys some fast links real fast. So this right here is the part where Huff is talking about, you know, we can be judged after we die, and we can be redeemed. I think we really need to take a closer look what he's saying, but I'm gonna go ahead and play it a little bit so you can hear it yourself.
They validate hell, they validate heaven, they validate a purgatory type of place where we wait. They validate that we are judged when we pass, but we can't be redeemed. All of us can be forgiven and redeemed for our sins. You know, that some people ask me about our...
So that right there, Mr. Huff was talking about, that is very, very, very important what he just spoken of. And he was talking about basically these so-called spirits, which I'm going to call them familiar spirits, because he's not talking to a person who died. He's not talking to a loved one. He's not talking to XXTentacion, as everybody likes to do now. And I guess it's a trend. But he just said some real stuff. I mean, man, he said some real stuff. And I'm going to give you some key facts about what he just said. that we can be forgiven even through death. That's what he's basically saying. Maybe I'm just hallucinating, I'm not hearing what he's saying, or maybe I'm not understanding what he's saying, but I'm pretty sure you heard what I just heard. So let's see what the Bible say about this. So please forgive me about this part, because this is going to take a little bit of digging to show you and break this down. So this is Ecclesiastes 9 verse 5 and 6. This is probably the most deepest thing we can talk about. And this basically saying for the living that they know nothing, but they will die. You know what I'm saying? But they're dead. The living don't know nothing. I'm sorry, the dead do not know nothing. When you die, you don't have any memory what you done. Even when you go down to verse 6, they'd even break it down a little bit more, even for the love, your hatred, everything you done. You will not have no memory of this. That's because you are in a sleep state. You are asleep, my friend. So my thing is, Mr. Huff, he is not talking to a loved one or a person who passed. And I'm going to keep saying this. He's not talking to XXTianTian. I have said this many times in my videos, and even I keep bringing this up in my videos. If you have watched any of my past videos, I keep bringing this up. But I'm going to keep going a little bit deeper. We're going to do some serious digging. So once again, this is Job 14, verse 12. This is basically saying that you are in a sleep state. You know, once a man die, you know what I'm saying, he to heaven, you know, no more, none of this. He will not awake or be risen out of his sleep. That's what this basically saying. You know, you're not getting up. Not even spiritually. Your spirit is not giving up. Basically, that's what this verse saying. I'm just gonna make this fast. I'm gonna go to the next verse. So I decided to bring this verse up again. That word necromancer keep coming up, medium keep coming up, and this is basically saying, you know, a person who inquire of the dead. This is a person who communicate with the dead. The Bible's telling you not to do this, but Mr. Huff continues keep saying that the Bible said is okay. So if the Bible's saying that do not do this, how can you be forgiven and redeem yourself through death? If you cannot speak and you cannot be heard, how can you redeem yourself through death? This makes no sense. So we're going to keep moving. So we're going to talk about Mark 12:27 and Matthew 22, verse 31 and 32. So let's go ahead and talk about Mark first. This is basically talking about God. He's the living God. Listen to the word living. He's the living God. You know, God look out for the living. And then if you kind of look at Matthew, and it's talking about he resurrects the dead. And you know, and he's talking about I am the God of Jacob, I'm the God of Isaac, but I'm not the God of the dead, but of the living. So I pulled these two verses up specifically for you can see this. But if God is not the God of the dead, who is the God of the dead? So we're gonna go ahead and go to Jude 1, verse 9. And this is basically talking about when Moses died, Michael, the archangel, was coming to take the body of Moses. And he was approached by Satan. Satan himself approached him and tried to take the body. And Michael said, I rebuked you in the name of the Lord, because this is the Old Testament. So he used the name of the Lord. I rebuked you. So now I'm showing you something. So hear me out, people. The devil is the God of the dead. God is the God of the living. But you have to understand, he's the living God. So if you want eternal life, you have to walk in the right path to God. You have to be on God's side. Because if you sitting here and you believe in what this man's saying, you are doing the same thing Saul is doing. And you are condemning yourself, people. This is the reason why I made this video. I ain't making this video just from out of my personal thoughts. I'm showing you proof. So we're gonna move on. This right here is Psalms 115, verse 17. The dead do not praise the Lord, nor who go down into silence. So Mr. Huff was saying some really, really deep stuff, as these so-called spirits was saying. So you mean to tell me that I can get redemption if I'm dead? Lord, forgive me for my sins. I'm dead. But this is awful weird because the Bible say otherwise. But Mr. Huff didn't mention the Bible was speaking of this. So I want to let you know, people, I'm showing you all the facts. I'm showing you the proof. He is not talking to deceased loved ones. He is talking to fallen angels. He is talking to demons. So I brought up 2 Corinthians 11:14, and I just want to show y'all this. And no wonder even Satan disguised himself as an angel of light. So let's not forget that even Mr. Huff did a couple of videos that he was speaking with an angel and angel protect him. I just want to show y'all this. Do not be fooled by Satan. This is his game. This is what he do. This is what he love. His job is to deceive you and get many people in hell. I'm just going to go ahead and show you a couple more scriptures before I end my video. So this is just the one I was talking about. You know, he believed a message from heaven and all this. So I'm going to go so far with Mr. Huff, and I hate to say this, but I'm going to give you a breakdown real fast what I'm about to say. I'm going to go ahead and call Mr. Huff a false prophet. And this might kind of sounds crazy why I'm calling him a false prophet, but you have to understand the meaning of a false prophet. And it's deeper than you think it is. So let's go ahead and see what the Bible say about it. And then we're going to also look up the word in a dictionary, even what the dictionary say about it. So we're going to go ahead and talk about 1 Timothy 4:1. And this is basically talking about like to stray away from the faith, and there will be teaching by demons. So you have to remember, this is one of the reasons why I'm calling him a false prophet. He is getting taught by demons. And this is people who, some of these people who is following him. You might do go to church, you might don't go to church. And this is part of the thing called straying away from the faith, because you is straying away from the faith. And this right here is 1 John 4:1. And this is basically saying, do not believe every spirit, but test them to see whether they're from God, or, for many false prophets have gone out into the world. So this is basically boils down to a preacher or anybody's talking about God. This is even according to me. If I'm going and I'm speaking of the Bible and I'm not telling the truth what I say, then I can be considered a false prophet too. But it's your job to go seek the truth. Basically what this is saying, it is your job. Even what I'm saying, go seek to see if I'm telling the truth. Whatever Mr. Huff talking about, do just what I done. I seeked to see was this man telling the truth. And I just showed you in my beginning of my video, he is not telling you the truth. He has been taught by spirits. And I'm going to show you the reason why I call this man a false prophet. So this is basically what the dictionary or Urban Dictionary likes to say what a false prophet means. It's basically an individual who lead others to believe recovery or hope or progress. The false in deeds, basically what it's saying, to make somebody feel good. Make feel good what he's doing. This is right. We got hope. We got hope after this. You know, there's hope after death. This is why he is leading to be a false prophet. Not only that, he is leading massive people on this stage. So let's go and see what else the dictionary talks about a false prophet. And this is basically saying, you know, for someone who claims what they actually are, you know, they act if they is, you know, what they want to be. He wants more people, but you know, even the dictionary is telling you, don't ever follow these people. I'm telling you, you know, but people, I'm just showing you a little bit of light. I'm just showing you a little bit of stuff. I mean, you can believe this stuff. You don't have to believe it. If you're a person who don't believe in the Bible, I'm sorry that this video is not for you, but I'm just showing you some key facts. So, I want to thank you for watching my video. My name is Eyes Wide Open. Stay tuned because I will always keep uploading videos, and this is not only the end of my videos. I do keep my eyes open. This is basically on everything, and this is go for all the spiritualists out there, for people who play with witchcraft and all this. I will expose you. Anything that's going on in this world that is going to line up with the Bible, I'm going to expose you. Thank you for watching my video.